ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Give us a good applause, especially to Maestro Daniel Lozakovich. I don't hear you! Long waited for night for all of us. Such a privilege. Thank you so much for finding time, for finding this moment from your busy schedule to come and see us in this beautiful place hosted by Maya Page, whom we also thank profoundly. Friends of the Soloist Academy that can make it happen. We have Anne Tainton connected to us from South Africa. Hi Anne.
The president.
You're good. President of the association. Sylvie Roche, the interviewer. And myself, Dmitry. We'll try to canalize this extraordinary energy from Daniel right to your minds and to your hearts. Here in these sessions of Le Salon Dynamic Culture, we are looking for beauty, we're looking for inspiration.
And emotion.
And emotion. Are you ready for this inspiration? Yes. Then let's go.
Do you want to say a few words about what you're going to play?
Yes. So talking about inspiration and emotion, I'm going to play the first piece by Johann Sebastian Bach. He is probably, for me, for many, the greatest composer of all times. He is like the godfather of all the composers. Everybody of the greats, like Mozart, name it, Beethoven, Schubert, all got inspired by Bach. And this piece is called the Chaconne, which is supposed to be the greatest violin solo piece there is. And this piece brings everything there is for life, for knowing about there is something else in this world. It's a very simple piece, and the theme is very simple, and it's kind of a variation of bass. And in this journey of a piece, it brings you searching emotions for a different world, positivity, light in our life, happiness, and at the same time, very tragic. Because Bach probably is the one composer who was writing the most happy music, most positive music, and at the same time also he was the composer that wrote the most tragic music. And this piece really is a journey of searching for truth. And when Johannes Brahms, the great German composer, found this piece, he said he could never write like this because he would have gone insane. So I'm going to play this first. So this piece actually is a very different structure he made for the violin because it's part of the violin sonatas and partitas. He wrote 3 sonatas and 3 partitas, and this belongs to the D minor partita number 2, and D minor is probably the most tragic harmony. And it was supposed to be just 4 movements, and usually the movements are very short. And it was supposed to be the Allemande, the Courante, Sarabande, and Jig. But then suddenly he wrote this piece that's 15 minutes long. The other ones were like 3 minutes. Suddenly a 15 minutes long, an extra piece, the 5th piece. And this piece he wrote after finding out that his wife was already buried and has passed away, so he found out only after like 2 months or something like this. So it's very big shock, and there will be, you will understand.
Yeah.
Very difficult to talk about. music, especially played by you. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I mean,
Yes.
first we should thank Bach.
Yes, but I'm thanking you too.
But I have a friend, this great musicologist, Russian one, whose name is Mikhail Kazink. And he said something very special that always kept in my mind, that from all these terrible things we have in the world, all this crisis, all these wars, we should listen more to Bach. That's the part we need more Bach, we need more Mozart. This is like the lawyers for God, that He doesn't extinct us from all these terrible things. Because this shows the more a country has gone down, it only has gone up through culture, because those immortal composers, artists, they have an immortal spirit and shows that we are so much more than just materialistic, that we are unmaterial, that we are soulful people.
Especially when we listen to La Chaconne.
Oh, thank you.
Really, really. And I was thinking about also a sentence by Andrés Segovia, you know, the Spanish guitar player. He used to say, it's not really listening to music, because we think we've been listening to music, but better dreaming with music.
Yeah.
And I think what you just did, and we were dreaming, you know, with music, with you. You were playing, but we were dreaming with your music.
That's right.
Really. Yeah.
And it's all about that.
Yeah, but you know, in order to dream, I guess you've worked a lot, practiced a lot, and you started not so early, I would say, for a violin player, because you were about 7 years old.
Yeah.
That's right. And in fact, I know that your mother or your parents, your mother is
My
here.
mother is here.
Yes, she's here. She didn't want you to play the violin. You didn't want him to play the violin. Is that true?
No, for me it was like a nightmare, you know.
A nightmare? The
I
beginning.
see the small children, you know, who plays violin.
Yes.
It's terrible. So my dream was like he would be a tennis player. He was so great on tennis, you know. So everyone thought, oh, he's the next tennis stars, you know. So and he was really so great, and but he was always so musical.
Yes.
So and I thought, okay, for just.
But you didn't play any music as
No, we are
your
not
husband.
musicians,
Yes,
no,
not at all.
not at all.
Where do you think it came from? Can you explain it or not?
From God.
Oh, okay.
My father is sculptor,
Mhm.
so it's kind of, we have some art.
Artist,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. But he was always musical. He was singing and also what he was, yeah. So, and we want to him play piano, you know, just to be
Yeah.
like educated with the different. So
So you did play the piano a little bit or not at all?
Yeah, a bit.
A little bit, yes. But you didn't like it.
Not
You chose the
not as
violin.
much as violin.
Why did you choose the violin? I know
Well,
why,
first of
but
all,
you could tell.
look at it. It's the
probably.
most beautiful instrument.
Yeah, what about your instrument? Can you explain to us what
Well,
it
first
is?
of all, I want to say like violin
Yes. Yes.
is like the most mysterious instrument.
Ah.
Like it has all these stories about angels, devils. It all was related to the violin as an instrument. And Da Vinci, he made this beautiful painting of this with his student. But there's this painting that really inspired me. That is this angel with a violin. But they had a different kind of violin. But it was always like this kind of way of playing. And all these paintings, stuff. It was angels. It's really a violin, and all these stories about the devil and the dreams playing the violin. So it's a very mysterious, and I think has the most beautiful sound.
Yeah, so it was not only the stories about the violin, but also the sound.
Yeah, the sound got
But
directly
your sound,
hooked.
your son with this instrument. What is this instrument?
So this new instrument I just got, the violin is not new, but
Yeah.
it's pretty old. It's by Antonio Stradivarius. I'm sure most of you have heard.
Yes.
He's like the Da Vinci of instruments makers.
Yeah.
And this was made in 1713. It's belonged to the most legendary, last legend of the violin who passed away recently. He was 98 years old. He's Ivry Gitlis.
Ah, yes. Oh.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I
So
got
you
the
are
two
playing
ones.
his
Yes,
violin.
and he
Oh.
made also the record of a violin player who had played one Stradivarius for almost 70 years.
Wow.
He was so in love,
Yeah.
never went it like
Yes.
changed, or usually people die before.
Yes.
So like it was really, it's a legendary thing. That and I can really feel still the spirit of it.
You can feel
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. And did you meet Gitlis?
I was
You were
very
friends,
fortunate
yes.
to be friends and
Yeah.
to play together.
Oh. What did you play together?
We did Bach concerto
Ah.
and some
Yes, the two.
chamber music,
Yeah.
and he was really a personality, and he's a big inspiration, and
Yes.
it's a big mission for me
Yeah.
to keep
Mhm.
at least a bit close to this legacy with such instrument.
Yeah.
And
So to come back to the violin, so you started when you were about 7, and then at 9 you gave your first concert. But maybe I come back to your mother
Yeah.
because she could say what she did.
What I did.
Yeah, what did you do when he was 9?
forced me to practice now.
I'm sure she did. Yes. What else? What else?
No, because we are not musicians, so everyone when he started, when I told him when he chose violin, so I told him you will, because in the school it's children started at 3-4 years
Yeah.
old. So
It was
and
late. Yes.
yes, and no of the teacher wanted to take him, so they said it's too late, so he will never get on this level. Yes, and I told him, do you want to be like, you will be like a loser, you know? So he doesn't like to be a loser. So I said, you will never, like all the teachers, that you will never get on this level. So they already play Bach, Vivaldis concertos. So, and he said, I don't care. I will be a violinist and I will be the greatest. So, so
I said that before. Now I see that when I grow up, there is no greatness in music.
No, and he convinced me when I told him, no, you will be a tennis player and you will play piano. So, and he said, you know, as a tennis player, my career will stop when I will be 30. So, but like a musician, I can play all my life, even when I will be 90.
Yeah, like
So,
Gitlis.
Yes,
Yes.
Gitlis, yes.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Strange.
So,
I
So
hope it's
you
not the
said-
nightmares.
Yeah.
It's
You
still.
sent a video to
yes,
Vladimir
but
Sivakov.
everyone just to tell in the school
Yes.
when he's after 1 year he
Yes.
already played much better than all these other
Mhm,
children.
mhm.
And I said okay, but I didn't believe what all the school because we are not musicians. Right? For me it was like okay, he's played like everyone else. So
Not really.
so, yes, at that time and we saw on television some festival and it was Maestro Spivakov.
Yes.
He had a festival Moscow Meets Friends.
Yes.
When they invited young talented children. So and I said, okay, if you are really talented, we will see. Because I was like
You weren't sure.
against this,
Yeah.
it's violin. And I sent the video. I said, if he is really talented, like everyone say, so they will pay some attention. So maybe they will invite him to play some concerts there. So and I got like directly as a call of the director of the festival. And they said, yes, Maestro, who's the director of the festival, he's a violinist
Yes.
also. And he said, I was so impressed, and I showed this to Maestro Spivakov, and he chose him to open the festival
Yes.
with the orchestra.
And he was
So
9
this-
years old. 9 years old.
So this was when, yes, I started, okay, maybe really, he has some talent, maybe something special. So,
Yes. And then you were looking also for a teacher?
Yes.
Yes. And
I
for
mean,
you,
it was
it
a
was a
very-
difficult thing.
It's a long
Yes.
story.
Let's make it short because we want to.
So I find a
listen to
great
you.
teacher.
Yes. Yes.
After searching a long time,
Mhm.
who made me divine as I am, Yusuf Racin,
Yes.
and then also here in Geneva, Edward Wolfson.
Yes.
And yes,
And your first teacher is also, he also taught Kacchatrian also.
yes, exactly.
A good
Sergei
violin,
Kacchatrian,
yes,
yes,
a good violin player.
Yeah, very great violin
Yeah,
player.
great, yes, yes.
And
yeah. So you went to Germany?
yes, I went to Germany, and then it was not a great city in Karlsruhe.
Yeah.
Very depressing. But it was worth it. But also it was funny, my teacher from Karlsruhe, he's like a guru. I call him Yoda. Because he is in Karlsruhe, and he has never moved from there. So like he's only there at his house,
Yes.
teaching, just dedication for music and violin. And I wanted so much and to come to some of my concerts. Even I pay everything, hotel, best,
Yes.
like please just come. He has never.
So did you give a concert in Karlsruhe?
I had to.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm very grateful.
And what did you play for him?
Everything.
Everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the concert.
At the
what did you
concert,
play?
oh.
What did you choose?
I played a few concerts in Karlsruhe
Ah,
because I
okay.
wanted him to hear me a few times.
Yes.
And yeah, but now I'm gonna play his piece.
Yes.
So there's two categories of a composer. There's one, like Bach or Mozart,
Yeah.
that mystifies music, brings angels, brings otherworldly structure, and it's really, this music cannot be changed. It's too sacred. That's why I asked to make it also a bit less light, because it's like in churches, you go in there and it has to be this feeling of being alone and feeling of a prayer, and it's soulful music. Then there is second composer style. It's the one who has found out a way how to exploit the instrument in the most, I must say, crazy ways that nobody have ever done. Just like Paganini, Liszt, and so on. First I'm going to play a piece by Yves-Jean Isaïe, the Sonata number 3. And he was a Belgian virtuoso violinist and also composer. And you will see what I mean about the second category.
Daniel, I have a question. Are you ever afraid? You know, what you have to play, this is very technical, but you make it sound very simple. So, are you sometimes afraid? Or not?
My teacher has actually a great joke. Because most of my colleagues, sorry, I need to take my breath, have fear, stage fear,
Yeah,
or
fear,
fear for
yes.
this. But I must say, it's not too, if something happens, okay, it's worse if you're a doctor.
Yeah.
Like you have an operation. Or it's dentist, take the wrong tooth or something. That I would be afraid. But music, I mean, if something happens,
Yeah.
hopefully nobody will kill me. So I should be fine.
And I read not long ago in Le Monde, it was something about Daniel Barenboim, another prodigy, I would say. And he said the best advice I ever got, it was from Adolf Busch, and he said, play with the public. Do you agree with that? Was it something for you to?
It depends on the music.
Yeah.
Because there is some
What do you
music, let's say, some moments of Bach. So you really pray, you can say yourself or suffer yourself in some moments, and the public has to come with. Sometimes the showpieces you play for public to make it a bit more fun, and it really depends on the music. And sometimes it's just too strong of a force, too strong, otherworldly, so you're too busy to think about the public. And the goal is too huge, the mission is too big too. But of course it's always an invitation. The public, you cannot just play for yourself, then nobody will hear anything otherwise. And you cannot, there's this thing about music that it's goes with two things. It's intelligence and heart. And if it's only intelligence, it's kind of boring, it becomes like a machine. If it's only heart, it becomes kind of amateur, it's only you will understand, nobody will understand others. And if you take both, then hopefully the public should feel.
Yes.
So I'll play the last piece. Also belongs to the second category of the composers, but this one I think you will recognize. It's by Commugny. But it's a variation of all his best works he made by the legendary Nathan Milstein. He took all the best pieces of Paganini and made it to one. It's called Paganiniana.
Bravo.
Thank you very much again. And now I think it's time for some questions.
There's one more dear friend that I haven't introduced to you yet, Valentino Bertolini, behind his mixing board here tonight. May I ask you, after all it's a question for you, may I ask you to put any track that you prefer? Thank you, Valentino. Daniel, my question is to you. Would you say there's a greater distance between Bach and D.C.I that we heard today than between Bach and this music? Yeah.
The thing is, I think Bach is the greater distance to everything.
No, it doesn't count.
I must say that electrical music and all kinds of music are very interesting to me. And some
Do
of
you
my
listen
friends,
to it regularly?
yeah, no, not regularly, but some of my friends are and are introducing me to it. So I was kind of against it before, but now I see what is attractive, and there is, of course, a special color, special feeling, and atmospheric, which is very special, and we all need sometimes that. But the difference between classical, I don't like this word, immortal music, is that, like, let's say Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, Schubert, they have been tested by time. And what's funny also, in Bach's time, we appreciate him more than when he was alive today. At that time, nobody even really considered him anything special. He was just in this church composing, and but the composers knew. And then Mendelssohn, 200 something years later, a bit less, opened for the public and showed the genius there is. Because this kind of music is not just immortal, it's just, it has something we all need. It's something that can speak to everybody who's willing for deeper emotions, for something really that can cleanse their soul and also give them to act. And it's also, if you look in a painting or read the literature, but still music is the strongest one, because it's so much more above than words, than what the eye can see.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's something that everybody gets connected. It's a language for everybody. It's if people have felt happiness or felt really something painful, or even like a more easy pain, like a heartbreak, or something. People can, younger people, older people, they can connect. It's only you have to really
Do you play
live.
very often? Do you need to play very often, or to listen to it?
I have to play because I have to be in shape.
Yes.
But like music, I cannot live without one
Yeah.
day.
Yes.
Like, even if I have
Not even a day?
no, like even if I have like really something, I'm like disappointed.
Mm.
Oh, I don't like something. What happened, or I'm don't like myself. Then I have this music or anything. I go to a museum, especially in music.
Yeah.
That there is something more. It's something more than us. We can touch, and it can really help us live and help us understand that this is immaterial. This, we have souls. This, nobody, all this economy, all these things are great, it's necessary, but those things won't save us really from being alive.
I think Dimitri would agree to that as well. Yeah. And what do you think? What you place Tchaikovsky? You have recorded it?
Yes, Tchaikovsky. Why I played recorded it?
Where? You know.
Oh, where?
Between, yes,
I recorded
between these
it.
two categories.
So 2019
Yes.
in Moscow.
Yeah. In Moscow.
It was a very.
And then there is a picture of you, because I can say it here, in front of l'Hôtel des Trois Couronnes in Vevey.
Oh, this was, yes, to
Yeah.
get some inspiration. That's where
That was the
Tchaikovsky
inspiration.
composed the
Yes,
concerto.
yes, yeah.
But we recorded it in Moscow with Vladimir Spivakov.
Yeah.
It was a personal recording because he was the first conductor I ever played with, and he was the violinist. He recorded the Tchaikovsky violin concerto,
Yes.
and it was my favorite recording since
Yes.
childhood. So it was a really personal recording.
Right. It's a tradition here. Do you have any question for Daniel? Yes, there is.
I was just going to ask, was it your instinct that told you to become a violinist, or was it something else?
It's a great question. It was really something, instinct, and also something else. It was something that, when I first time saw it, it just hooked me. Like I seen this instrument played, but it was like first time, and there was really, I got tears. I remember the first time I saw.
So what was it that you heard the first time?
It was the Bach A minor concerto, which was my first album why I recorded Bach. Not only because it was the first I heard, but also Bach is the base of all music, and the one that really showed that music can be connected to another world. But yeah, it was very instinct feeling thing.
Another question?
Hi, Daniel. Another question about your next recording first. Maybe you can share with us what you'll be recording and why. And the second question, a little more tricky. You recently told me that you like to work with conductors which are difficult, who many artists are afraid of, and maybe you want to also share with us why.
Thank you for that question. I mean, I'm now releasing a recording. It's called Spirits. It's to release in April. It's a dedication and homage to my favorite violinist, Yusuf Hassid. And he's not really a very famous violinist. Not even some of my colleagues know him. He's was born around 100 years ago, and he was at the time with Jascha Heifetz. You know, Heifetz is the greatest violinist of all time, and he has only recorded 30 minutes. That's it, because he died very young. He died at 26. Very tragic story. He got schizophrenia. Then they really wanted to save him because they knew he was the most special violinist. Even Kreisler, Fritz Kreisler, the godfather of our violinist, said a very special, legendary quote that Jascha Heifetz was born each 100 years, and Yusuf Hassid each 200 years. So you understand the significance. And so they wanted to save him, and at that time they did the lobotomy surgery for schizophrenia, so he died on the table tragically. And not many people know him, and he has the most divine gem of a recording for a violinist. And if you have time, you should look him up. I'm sure you will get inspired. And I made this kind of 30-minute recording with small pieces, like his kind of recording, not the same pieces.
Is it where you have Elgar?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
And about conductors, difficult, not difficult. Of course, I would rather the personality is not too difficult, but usually people who have great ideas, great dedication to music, are not really normal people. And some get really reacting to that, like they, this guy is too difficult to work with, or something. I don't care if the music is great. I don't care if the person is like not too bad, but like difficult. I understand.
But what does it mean, to be difficult as a conductor with you?
I mean,
what is it?
For me, there is no difficulty.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
But some are like, maybe too much rehearsal, too little, or unpredictable, or too commanding, or the opposites. And I learn from it. There is experience, but not just from conductors, but from people too. I think you learn more from difficult people than from just normal people. And it's the same with musicians, but I learn as much as possible with these great maestros, and I really like when there is something more than just
But you don't want
mediocre.
us to give names?
I must say there are not too many, so it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. And what about musicians you would like to play with, for instance?
So my
We
dream,
played already.
my dream was since, Maestro Gergiev was something very special always. But the biggest dream that was for me, and my favorite musician today, is Mikhail Pletnyov. And
Why?
as a
Could you tell
pianist, as
us
a
why?
conductor, I can tell you. Because today there's pianists, but he does not belong to the day. He belongs to Rachmaninoff, Horowitz, and this way of playing, he's maybe not the most famous, but he's going to be the one that lasts the longest, because his way is so strong, it's so much color, but his personality is so deep, and his intelligence, and at the same time it's very simple, and it's impossible to copy that. Nobody has at all, not even close.
What about you? Because when we listen to you, it sounds simple, you know. Even Eugène Isaïe, even that.
I must say, because this dream came true, we played duos together and also as a conductor with him, and I've learned a lot from him. I've known him now for almost 2 years, but it feels like I've learned for, I don't know, 50 years. He's really something. He's like an alien. He's really like, what is this? Such a great humor and everything, but at the same time there's some atmosphere as he really doesn't belong to the day. I met many great musicians, but he's something more.
Another question?
You want to hear something else?
Yes.
Talking about Tchaikovsky. I can play a small piece
Yes, please.
to round up the night. It's called Valse Sentimental.
Oh, thank you.
And
Большое спасибо.
it's a very melancholic piece, but I think it's great for the ending of the night.
Thank you, Daniel. I have one wish. Can I give you a hug? be my place. Thank you so much.
And
We have-
can we wish you a little bit belated happy birthday?
On the 1st of April. Bravo, maestro! Go for it! Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your presence. Thank you, Daniel, dear friend Daniel. Thank you, Sylvie. Thank you for your generosity. Shall we carry on with a glass of wine?
Thank you very much. Thank you for listening, and hopefully nobody fell asleep.